Welcome back to Dota 2 Asian Championship Playoffs coverage brought to you by the Score Esports. Guys, we talked about that. I have to say that over and over, right? So, time to talk a little bit about the Score Esports before going into the game. This is a platform that has recently launched for esports. It's a platform that is one of the biggest ones in actual sports. They have a mobile app that tracks the scores of all the sports. They're now coming into esports. They started with League. Dota 2 is coming soon. They also have a lot of news and coverage. We talked about yesterday an article from Hotbit about teams and the importance of having teams as a way to strengthen the brands. These guys, you can go and download the mobile app. If you go and check the chat right now, I think K-Pop-Tosis is about to link the link to the place. Of course, the website also has some of the news, so you can check them as well there.
I think it's pretty great that some of these bigger apps are starting to branch out. Because actually, I use that app for NBA box scores, so it's pretty awesome to be able to use it for esports as well.
For somebody that haven't used it yet, and maybe the Twitch I haven't used it yet, what are exactly the scores you're keeping track? Is it just the game score?
Well, right now there's nothing for Dota 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's only for Android.
So it'll show like kills.
Let's say League of Legends, because I'm sure there's one.
Okay. Well, I don't know about League of Legends because
well, no, you have the score of the game. Like you'll have the live score, so how many kills, blah blah blah, like everything that you.
But they can get anything from the API, like gold per minute if they want, and
exactly all that. Essentially everything that you could get in a Dota 2
so
game.
If I want to know Black's GPM on game 3
right now, you could.
Maybe.
Yeah, you could. There's no reason you couldn't. But as I said, like they also have a little very good articles. Hotbit, you know, great writer. Slasher, great writer. Bad at Reddit, but hey, he is writing right now. So we hope to see more of these guys. They are cool guys. Personally, friend of a lot of them. So I trust that they're going to take these into a very good direction.
Cool.
Having said that, welcome back, Lumi.
I was never away.
Well, you were away for a couple days.
Okay, true.
That is true. You got one.
I was away from here.
Yes. You were about an hour away.
Yes. It's very far away.
Cool. You got one of the most hyped series. Sure. How did you leave it from the caster sit?
I mean, I treat it as every game. I mean, it's not like I go like, oh my god, it's eHome versus HET. Let's not cast it. It's
wow, shots fired, eHome and HET.
Oh, let's be real. It's not Secret versus Vici, right?
This is like a post-game interview of a player. How do you feel after casting that great game?
I don't know what you want me to say. It was a great game, and it was awesome that I get to cast it.
I heard that you had a great suggestion for Axis Cooling Blade.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Mini stun, right?
It should mini stun. When he jumps 8 feet in the air and dunks at you, there should be some impact.
You could also argue that it should just be a one-shot kill, because if you get an X dunked through your head, you're pretty dead. I can tell from personal experience.
What if you do it on Meepo? Do you split him and you get 2 Meepos because it cuts him exactly in half?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So it basically helps Meepo.
Yes.
It kills everybody else.
Cinder's not a fan of that one, I don't think.
Okay, but maybe you can like Culling Blade your allies Meepo.
I'm okay with it doing a mini stun, but I don't need to nerf him some other way. I'm sure X will get a nerf anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the most strongest heroes right now. Speaking of strongest hero, let's talk about strongest teams. EG and Big God. EG, one of the strongest starting teams. They were 7-0 at one point. They finished the tournament, the group stage 11-4. So after going 7-0, they went 4-4.
Yeah.
But they did start very strong. Big God, on the other hand, sorry, did I bait you into showing EG?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, no, it's fine. We can take a look at EG. I was more descriptive. But let's talk about EG a little bit longer than I was planning to.
Excellent.
Fear now with a beard.
Yeah, that is not updated. How dare you?
Yeah.
He actually looks really good with a beard, just sidetracking a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not. It's actually kind of rare for a player to look okay with a beard.
It's also rare for
a player to have a beard.
Thank you, Santos.
Yeah, because everybody's so young.
Yes. Well, let's not forget the immortal Ajax Max mustache.
That's true.
It's a mustache, though.
It's a mustache, yeah. It's facial hair.
Have you seen
Does
him
anybody
without
else
it?
just first of all, I'd like to see him without just to see. Then I probably will regret the decision to have him grow it immediately. Probably takes him like 2 days anyway. But is there anybody else with just a mustache anymore?
Didn't TC used to have a mustache at some point?
No.
GoDz.
GoDz used to have a mustache.
I wouldn't call that a mustache, though.
I also wouldn't call him a player.
He did beat Envy 1v1 mid.
Oh yeah, that
That's
was
true.
legendary.
Playing what?
It was like Ursa versus Krob, and they were bottle crowing. It was like the most awesome game.
Envy died at like level 3 or something.
Yeah, something like. I'm not sure how that
got
game.
too cocky.
Yeah. What?
Might beat
Oh,
Bulba.
might beat
Spirit
Bulba,
Breaker
yeah.
versus Nature's Prophet.
Ah, interesting. Interesting. When was this?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. Anyways, regardless, facial hair and players, a very interesting topic. Also an interesting topic.
I really like that. That's all we had to say about EG.
That's all we need to say, right?
That's all we need to say. Sumail not likely to grow any facial hair anytime soon.
I don't know. I'm half Middle Eastern. You can grow that stuff pretty fast as a kid.
Have you looked at? He looks like he's 11.
I know, but give it a year, he'll have a full beard. I'm telling you, he can do it.
It's taped.
Taped. A year and a half.
What am I?
If typically mid-high school range is when Middle Easterners can.
He's 15.
Grow
That's
mustache.
mid-high school.
That's not mid. That's beginning of high school. That's like freshman
14
year, right?
is freshman. 15 is.
Okay, so then a year and a half.
There you go.
We don't know. He might be clean shaving right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
You don't
Uses
know.
a razor blade. He's good to go.
It's not out of the question.
Who knows?
All right, facial hair for
Big God.
God.
Let's take a look and see if we can find something.
This one's.
Well, this is a much older crowd, right?
Yes. Ice sporting the interrogation beard.
Yep.
What's it called? The beard I used to have. It's called a rim, right? The one you
Yes.
have all the way around. I think a chin strap.
Yeah.
I think that would look legit on Xiaowei.
A rim. I've never heard. I've heard somewhere else.
Well, at least you
using
got the
that, but-
idea. Okay, so a chin strap would look good on Xiaowei.
Okay. I can see that.
Okay.
He's the only one of them I actually imagine a beard would really
No.
suit. ROTK as well. Could work.
Yeah, I think ROTK as well for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, Burning just seems like the type that should have a beard because he just sits there and
Brian,
farms. He
please.
should be growing a beard during that time.
What about Xiaowei with a mustache?
A mustache, just a mustache.
Yeah.
Okay, what about one of those?
No.
What are those called? What are the curlies?
Oh yeah, that's like mastermind,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like French mustache.
Handle.
No,
handlebars
handlebars
thicker.
are like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, handlebars thicker.
What?
Dear God, no.
Fu Manchu. That's close. Yeah, that's closer.
Yeah, Fu Manchu, but no,
But
like, we're
that's
talking
a
about
full
like
goatee.
what's the name of the Wacky Racers? The old cartoon Wacky Wheels. Do you remember? Oh, something like that. It was like
Isn't that a computer game?
No, yeah, that's that's a
Wacky Wheels.
it's like where it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Yeah, it's a very old cartoon where they were like this French guy that had a like that mustache. He was a French with a kind of rolling mustache, and he also had like a dog that smiled like. That was his.
Okay, vaguely remember. Can you do some more impressions by any chance?
Oh, there we go.
Got it. Got it.
Excellent. Dick Dastardly. Yeah, I remember the name in,
I've heard that
Spanish,
name.
but no. Yeah.
By the way, I just feel so out of this conversation about culture and beard.
I'm
which
just pretending to know what he talks about. So
neither
it's fine.
I have.
I'm just trying to draw a mental image on people that actually are like 45 or older.
Thank you.
Great.
But right. Facial hair aside, Big God, they were kind of the opposite of EG, not having the greatest of starts. They weren't bad, but they didn't have the greatest of start. But by the end, they were very solid, and they took games out of most of the greatest teams of the tournament right now. And they're looking pretty strong, finishing in second place, even though they tied in score with EG. I think this is a match that could go either way. What do you think, Lumi? Do you have any favorites?
Well, who was it said that EG was going to end up in the winner bracket final? Or facing against Secret?
Like in the winner bracket final or in the loser
Bracket final.
I think everyone, but most people.
Yeah, I think actually Big Guy could take it. I'm on the Big Guy tree.
Okay.
I think they're the favorites by like a little margin, but EG's second and third games yesterday against Navi looked really good. Creative drafting, very solid execution. Big God, on the other hand, they're really good at playing late game.
Yeah.
And EG they have a tendency to not end the game super early. So we could see some marathons. I want to say a hero to look out for Big God. Obviously, the Medusa of Burning will be the pick. I think it's going to be banned in some of the games, even first phase or else in second phase. Xiaowei, probably the player to look out for from Big God. I think he's the one who's arguably for me has the chance of being the most improved player since TI4, which is kind of ridiculous since he won the event.
Yeah.
But in terms of individual skill, he has skyrocketed, which is
also
incredible.
compared to his team, right?
Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah, that's another point. His old team newbie did not do too well. I told you, I said it. We're going to bring up newbie again. You cannot let it go. You just have to poke fun at newbie once a day. It keeps the doctor away. But what was I saying?
You
Yeah.
were gonna say Treant Phoenix EG should pick because it's awesome.
No, so what I was getting at had absolutely nothing to do
blows
with
it
that.
off
Pretty close, but that was a really nice draft, though. So I gotta say. But Xiao 8, arguably the most improved player, and going into this event, a lot of people considered Rabbit the most improved player since TI4. Or at least even during TI4, he was spotted out as a super talent, and because of that, got picked up by Newbie, and he has been the absolute opposite story. He has really fallen short this tournament. Kind of maybe has blown one of the opportunities of a lifetime to really establish himself in the top, because I think people are second guessing him right now.
Yeah.
Not good.
He might lose his spot.
We should
at
talk
Newbie.
about Newbie some more, I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting team to talk about. Actually, talking about the parity of this of this lineup.
What is going on?
What in the world?
It's the most famous caster of China. Also, Queen of Pain in it.
Looks moderately satisfied at the moment.
Why isn't she wearing that? It would make more sense.
He looks like, I kind of feel like I shouldn't like what's going on right now, but I kind of do, but I don't want to show it too much.
I think this is the stretch goal of a special guest. It's him as Quap.
Wow. Do you know that? Or like
No, I just completely made that up.
okay.
You actually believe me, though.
Is there any certainty in that rumor?
I'm very surprised with how straight of a face she's keeping looking at him.
Wait. Like,
this was a stretch goal. This was a $300,000.
Yeah, this was
Oh
a
my
stretch
god, I was actually...
wow, nice.
Yeah, it was okay.
Hey, I want to
So
say
it was a
like
stretch goal.
the ad for that laptop brand, doesn't it look like it's like an overlay on top?
It looks like a piece of paper.
It is actually piece of paper just wrapped around the laptop, right?
Because it goes like towards the end of the laptop. It's like the laptop finishes and it goes a little bit more.
Oh, it's like a very badly made overlay, just like put on top.
Don't move the laptop.
The product placement, though, on the sides, it's pretty legit.
Yeah,
have to say.
I like coconut thingies, so. I might
Boy, that could be interpreted quite a few ways.
How do
How
you?
do you interpret coconut thingies?
Well, coconut things.
I like Witch Doctor.
Okay, that's fine. Everybody loves Witch Doctor.
He's a thingy, really?
He's a thingy, yeah. I like coconut bikinis. You know?
I don't think
Not
I've ever
gonna
actually
argue with
seen
that.
one in person, to be honest. That's like a
In
more
person,
that's more like an 80s TV
Yeah.
show type thing.
Yeah. Well, I am old. I can
Both
say
of
that.
us. That was a
Excellent.
good. See, you give good high. This guy sucks at high fives. I'll tell you what.
I taught you to look at the elbow.
No.
What?
He's like, yeah.
Please, high five.
Okay, so the best, okay, this is like the ultimate filler, okay? So the way you high five is that you look at the elbow of the guy you're high fiving, and if
Right.
both do it, you never miss.
Mhm.
Not kidding, you never miss.
Why do you look at the elbow? Why don't you look at the hand?
Because it aligns, it like aligns the vision of you. I can't explain it.
What
Actually.
if
I don't know.
it's
what-
like
hand.
an up down? Like do an up down high five.
Up down.
Like
Yeah.
what's the
There's
elbow
no
there?
elbow.
That's when you look at the penis. I
Okay,
think.
so when you do it up high, you look at the elbow of the guy you're high fiving. You can try it.
Yeah,
If you
give
mess
a
it up,
try.
you're going to be the first guy I've ever seen failing it. Okay. Okay, that wasn't a high five. Lumi held his hands. Now you can't.
Okay, I'm looking at the elbow.
Yeah,
I'm
high
looking at
five
the
and
elbow.
caress.
That's like weird. How am I looking at his elbow?
Right, you have a sample size of 1 now. That's not really.
Can you
good.
try with him?
I'm
Look
just
at
gonna.
the
I'm
elbow.
gonna mess it up on purpose. Though. That's the thing.
I don't
Alright.
trust this guy. Forget
Okay,
about
So
it.
here's the thing. I think it has to do with height. Like Lumi and me, Sansfun, similar height. We kind of like do it
Cinder
naturally.
just makes everything awkward.
Well,
with his
I
height.
can't high five with WinteR in general. Like that's a low five for me. I'm gonna go like some sort of key.
That's pretty harsh.
That's true.
That is true, though. Game. Actually, we were talking about the parity of these two teams. I'm gonna go full sellout mode because I don't give a fuck. So, eBattle is also sponsoring this thing, so I was looking at it. So there's the money line for Big God right now is 170 to 1. EG pays 204 to 1.
So BG favorites.
Big
By
God
that
favorites, yeah.
measure. Okay.
Big God favorites.
Well, it is. Wait.
What?
Big God is favored?
Yeah, they pays 170 to 1. EG pays 204 to 1.
I'm surprised. I thought EG was.
So that's what's that? 60-40 roughly, or like
I don't remember.
57-43,
What
something
does the
like
overlay
that.
say?
That's pretty close.
His wing is moving.
I think it's like 58, 59, yeah. So it's pretty close to 60.
That's pretty representative from what I expect, actually. I would give them like 55 to 60% win chance.
54,
54,
46. Okay, that's pretty close.
Yes.
Pretty
So
representative.
if ROTK gets the most kills in the first game, it pays 1450 to 1.
He
Oh my.
kind of, he's generally on the
doesn't-
receiving end.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What are there odds for him getting first blooded? Because I would snap call that with 3 or higher.
Well, no, unfortunately no.
Well, I really like this betting site. Now it has like What else does it have?
Over under 39.5 kills. So 39 kills or less pays 160 to 1. 39 kills or more total. Sorry, 40 kills or more, 219.
So they're expecting a less than 39 kill game between these two teams?
Yes.
I think it's pretty likely that at least 2 of the games have more than 40 kills. They're gonna.
Don't bet your
is this
money
game
based
by
on
game or
Simon's
per
advice,
series?
though.
No, but game
I've
by
been
game.
nailing
That's
predictions
why
this
I have
tournament.
map 1, map 2.
Just saying.
There's no
Just
map
look at
3
you.
bet because
Yes, look,
It's your problem.
trying to get high
if
five.
Burning gets the most kill, it's only 218 to 1. If Sumail, which is the best of EG, gets the most kills, he gets 354 to 1.
That's
so
a good bet,
Yeah,
I think.
that's pretty good odds.
who do you think is going to get the most kills? Let's do our own little bet. Let's take money out here.
No, we don't.
Well,
betting.
let's make Monopoly money.
Okay.
Monopoly.
Monopoly money.
Hmm.
Most kills. of the game.
100,000
100,000.
on ROTK getting first blooded.
This is for the
Cinder
game or the
will follow.
series?
For the game. Just first one
Okay,
game.
I'll
Most
take-
kills of the first game.
I'll take Sumail then.
Sumail?
Who gets first blood?
No.
most
Most
kills.
kills. Most kills.
Oh, most kills.
He is joking about he's getting first blood.
Burning.
I'm gonna go with Fear.
Okay.
I'll go with Sumail. High five. Up top.
Yeah, that was
kind of
weak.
missed. I didn't look your elbow, that's why.
Yeah,
Should
pretty
have followed the
much.
Cinder into it.
So, yeah, actually, I think Cinderen's bet your bet is really smart because I do favor Big God coming into this. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a 2-1.
I think it's going to be 2-1 regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably the most likely game in the winners bracket so far to be a 2-1.
I want to go back to the EG. That's actually
Do you think
something.
EG Navi was more likely?
No, the
Yeah, please
Or
go ahead.
Vici Secret?
Beachy Secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was probably my second.
I want to go and check EG versus Big God's game in the group stage because I cannot recall it right now. But it was a game that Big God won. Big God had Medusa, Shadowfin, Batrider, and Shadow Shaman.
I have news for you, Bruno.
What?
They have Medusa again. We're actually in the draft.
Oh wow, we're actually in the draft. Why,
We are
Brian?
deep.
Come on.
Doing this for the last time.
I haven't seen you, Brian. Come
Bruno,
on.
please.
Let's go into the draft and see how far that matches our expectations.
So, you
right
get
now.
what you wanted. You get the Sumail Storm, we get the Burning Medusa, and then EG has really been prioritizing Beastmaster. They picked it themselves. They banned it 2 games in a row against Navi yesterday. After they lost game 1 to, guess what, a Beastmaster, among other heroes. And Big God will first pick Venge. Chen, Juggernaut banned out by Big God, Shadow Fiend, and Lion for EG. Fairly standard opener.
How do you feel
for
about the
both teams.
Beastmaster first pick?
And the way that EG plays it, which is always offlane, right? Because when I think Cloud9 run it, they run it always mid. Like, what's the difference there?
Didn't No Tail play support? Well,
That's a long time ago.
well, okay.
So, Synderen, what's your call? Where do you think he's better at? And what's the difference between a mid and offlane Beastmaster?
I think offlane is probably best because if you play him on support, the level 6 kicks into late. This hero is all about getting. There's like 2 things that are important to him. It's level 6 and it's the first big item. So either Blink Force Staff, Necro Book, Aghanims, either of those. I think both those kick in too late if you play it support. It can be a gimmicky thing you can run, especially if the enemy team is assuming it's an offlane Beastmaster. You can catch them by surprise, but I would definitely. In this current metagame and the way the drafts go, I would never pick it with the intention of running it as support.
Storm and Beastmaster have been playing together for EG versus CDEC Gaming. They won. They had Tree and Protector that game as well. They also ran it versus Cloud9. They had those 2 heroes and they had a Luna, and it was like a super fast pushing lineup with Luna, Chen, and Beastmaster. So we might see any combination of those. The Chen is not there, of course, but there is a potential of seeing the Tree from PPD.
This is a classic scout out kills for Sumail strat
Yes.
with either Storm or Tinker.
I think my bet's looking pretty good. Sumail getting the
Yeah,
most kills.
Sumail
They
might
might
be
not
good.
win, honestly, but I don't see Medusa getting more kills than Storm throughout the entire stage of the game.
Unless she gets like a Rampage endgame or
Or
something.
if the game
buys a
lasts as
rapier.
long, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
PPD Earthshaker.
If he buys a rapier, please don't drop it. And if you drop it, go and pick it up.
Did we ever find out what that was all about?
I don't
I'm
know.
sure we'll find out in the next day or so.
Yeah,
The Rapier?
Yeah, the
Rapier.
fact that it was just sitting there.
I guess both teams.
didn't really know, and they
I'm-
couldn't afford the time to search for the rapier.
Okay, so honestly, the player who had it and died should know where it dropped, right?
Yeah.
Which was
there
I
was a
think
ping. There was a ping in
It was
exact
S4
location.
on the Windrunner, I believe.
Did they never get there again?
No.
Or-
Yeah, they did. Around.
Maybe they were like, oh, they already found it.
Yeah.
Maybe both teams were like, oh, the other team already found it. Then no one found it.
I think at that situation, everything is just so hectic that maybe that's not something you think about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Or
easy
just
to
too
watch.
risky to get to that side of the map, especially for Secret in that case.
Okay, anyways, back to this game.
Medusa will be getting a rapiers. What we're alluding
Rapiers
to here.
plural.
Okay, I like
Cool.
that. I like that.
Excellent. That should be a line as well for betting. How many rapiers?
We're going to need some sort of team fight potential for Big God to use the Stone Gaze for. It's obviously very early on in the draft. I think the heroes they've generally played Xiao 8 on, I would say, have been Bristleback and Shadow Fiend for most of the
Shadow
games.
Fiend?
But they're going to get Visage.
Wow.
Shadow
Visage.
Fiend is
Oh
banned, by the
wow,
way.
this is like a really good game for Drow.
It could be.
They might
Well,
do
now
it.
suddenly not
It
so
could
much
also
because
be a really
of Lycan.
bad game for Drow.
She could get picked off by the Stormfleet, but if she gets the Manta,
It's really a double-edged
Didn't
sword,
we
Drow.
see that in the EG Na'Vi game? Storm
It's
just
risky.
dominating Drow, or was it a sniper?
oh, he has a mustache.
Over and over. That is not. I'm sorry, that's not a mustache.
Okay,
There's no way.
as a Chinese representative,
Is that the test that
that
can be
is a
done?
mustache, and we're proud of it.
All right, touche.
10 seconds.
How much time do you think that took to grow?
2 years.
5 seconds.
He's never shaved in his life.
Yeah.
You know, if you shave with a razor, supposedly it grows back faster.
That's
I think it's
me.
actually true.
No, it's just the grows thinner to the end. So if you shave it, you shave the thin part, and the thick part is like growing out. So
That's not true.
I
That
don't
is
know
true.
if that's true.
I used to have to shave
10
once in 3
seconds
days.
remaining.
Now I have to shave once in 2
you're
days.
getting old. That's a spoiler alert.
I shave
Oh.
once a week,
5
but
seconds
that's
remaining.
because I'm lazy.
Yeah, Tito.
Tie Hunter.
Tide Hunter. Well, you wanted some team fight. This is going to be a team fight hero. And to be fair, Storm doesn't really want to go BKB too fast. Although, of course, with the ball lightning, he could potentially disjoint the Ravage.
RTK looks really nervous. I don't like this draft, guys.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Are we surprised Tide stayed in the pool that long
Mm-hmm.
for Ice Ice Ice? Or for Ice? Oh,
No,
that's right.
no, that's Ice Ice.
Like, oh
That's
wait,
not
wait a
Ice
second.
Ice
That's
Ice.
the pub store Ice Ice.
Reserve
Yes.
times.
Yes and no. I think if any team banned it this game, it would have been EG. But I also think their lineup isn't too nervous about it. To be honest.
Would you favor Tide on Dire over the Radiant that is picked now?
Does he have a clear advantage either side? I don't.
I think it's
Uh,
easier to
your,
stack
your,
for
your,
yourself
your stacks are safer
on the Dire, right?
on the Dire, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's
And it's easier to
also-
actually walk there to stack.
Yes, from the offlane.
It's a longer walk on the Dire, right? Because you need
Is
to
it?
wrap around all the way, whereas on the
Uh,
Radiant you can
On
like
the
cut
Radiant,
through
you
the
have
river.
to go.
You can cut through the river.
But you're not really going to go back.
But
But
if
you,
you cut
you
through the
can't
river,
go
that's
through the river. That's very
Yeah.
risky.
Depends. I'm gonna ban out Puck.
Radiant
I really don't
back.
think Big God would have taken this hero. To be honest, I think it would have been good, but I haven't really. Have we seen Xiao 8 playing that?
Xiao 8
Maybe.
used-
Oh yeah, he has actually. That's
he
true.
used
has
to play
played
that
it.
a lot for LGD when he
has
played
played.
mid for them.
So
But that was a
fairly-
long time ago.
But at the same time, I think Big God, they're looking for some more DPS. They need someone to be able to kill off the targets while they're in Stone Gaze, because Medusa won't cut it early. And this is a game that EG will. Like I said, they don't generally try to end the game early, and I also don't think they
wait,
will.
wait.
But
There's a match where Big God play Tide Hunter and Visage as well, and they went for Spectre super late game.
I don't think you're gonna
this
fit
is
Dusa.
No,
not
that's true.
a
Yeah, that is
Spectre
not a
game.
Spectre late game. Yeah, that is correct. I'm trying to find if
I
there
think
was
they just need some way to lock down the storm, because Venge, Stun,
Yes.
and Ravage is not really. I guess if you blink on top of the storm, you could ravage him. But apart from that,
interesting data. Big God hasn't played against the Storm at all this tournament, so they haven't had the practice to go against that hero.
Reserve time.
I think the nice thing about their draft is that there's actually no super easy target for the Storm. So Venge is a fairly tanky support. It's not a super easy kill. Dusa, obviously not an easy kill. Visage, with the points in Gravekeeper's Cloak, it's going to take Storm. Storm is about the burst, and he won't get him that fast against Visage, and same for Tide. And Skywrath Mage, the last pick from EG, has pretty much entirely disappeared and been replaced by Lion, as someone pointed out yesterday.
Yeah.
But we're going to be seeing the Skywrath here.
There's Sumail in 3 years.
Sumail's dead.
I mean, is there any reason to pick Skywrath here? I mean, yes, Lion is banned out,
The
but
silence on Tide Hunter. You just silence Tide Hunter.
and just
you
leave
ignore
him alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, this is putting a lot of
'Cause-
pressure on Sumail, though. It's pretty much
5
if he doesn't get off to a good start.
Oh,
they're
it's
in
going
trouble.
to be the Doom.
Okay.
That is a bit greedy.
It's greedy, but
It's a solution to Storm.
yeah.
Yes.
Somewhat.
If EG starts pushing early game, what does Big God have to stop it?
Mystic Snake, Wave of Terror,
Well, the thing
Birds.
about Big God is
It's not that.
they generally concede all the outer towers, right? This is
Right.
like, we're gonna hold our high ground because we're Big God. We have Burning.
Yeah, and if you remember Cloud9.
Exactly. Has Big God ever won like the laning stage?
Yeah, of course they did.
And then they
That's-
probably
I'm
won
not
the
sure. I'm not sure
That's
if they
such a
have.
They
condescending
have
question.
never won the laning stage. in
It's
their
it's
life.
like a
Wait,
rare
there's a
thing to
laning
do.
stage?
I don't think they win their laning
There's
stage
the
very
burning
often
stage only.
because they generally draft very late game oriented, right?
Yeah,
do.
I
they
don't
do.
know.
they do like the Medusa, they do like the Spectre, they like the Morphle, they do like going for these very late game heroes because, I mean, wouldn't you when you have Burning in your team? But at the same time, you do have Director 8.
It's like they're
and-
just begging EG to just punish them in the early stage.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Lanham playing Visage. I think that could be a treat.
That's very Queen of Pain-esque.
he is an-
process what you said.
He is an
did I say?
extremely capable player
begging
on support.
Ah, yeah.
them to
His
punish-
Lion
that
has
sounds
been
like a voice
amazing,
line.
and as a result, EG first face banned it against BG. That's a serious respect ban. Let's see what he can pull off on that bird.
Oh, wow.
Well, we're going to be casting with Slideshow Dota 2.
We're going to go to the secondary computer. Don't worry, that's fine. And you're watching Syndra and spectating.
Gotta
Oh
be with
boy, the
us.
pressure. Do you want to take over, Sam?
No, don't
God,
worry.
you-
It's going to
no,
go
I
to...
won't
Yeah,
be able to
actually,
see
yeah,
you.
you're going to have to spectate.
All right, I'm
while-
gonna follow Visage, guys. He's going top. All right,
don't
I'm
worry,
gonna-
weapons can come here probably.
Right, here we
anyway.
go.
Maybe,
Look
who
at
knows.
that.
In any case, we're going to go to the casters. This time it's not LD and Lumi. It's our... Yeah, no, I know, but I was trying to introduce them as our couple from the other side of the world. It's GoDz and WinteR.
Well, welcome guys to the international cast. I'm GoDz, joined by WinteR. We've got Big God versus EG kicking off Game 1 draft underway, and Big God going back to an old familiar hero, the Burning Naga, not Burning Naga sign, the other Naga, the Medusa, coming out once more. And EG, well, they're going to be looking to take the game to Big God with a fairly heavy push draft, the Beastmaster, the Lycan. They can fall back on the Storm Spirit of Sumail as well. WinteR, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great after that fantastic first series from VG and Secret.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. This series, I feel like another very closely matched series. They may not be teams rated as highly as Vici or Secret, but I feel like the panel and just people in general are very split as far as which way this game is going to go. Big God, EG, seems like there's no real clear favorite.
Yeah, and looking at what Big God has in place for us, they are going to contest the Lycan's lane with a Doom. Doom started out with Boots, probably going to go to the jungle, grab a creep, and Visage will be actually taking the lane with the bench here. It's a very unique way of playing the lanes from Big God, as we have not seen this in the group stages, and we only seen IG actually do this on a safe lane where they actually run Doom and Doom goes jungle and Visage takes the lane, or a Lion.
Yeah, so we'll see how EG react. They're already rotating PPD up on the Earthshaker, so it could be a good old-fashioned trial lane versus trial lane up here, as Zhao Wei going to body block the pool camp. And this makes EG just have a rougher time in general. They're going to want to, when you're versing a trial lane, especially one that's, well, I'd say trial lane, the Doom kind of going to be up here a lot. You want to have that pool camp to keep the creep equilibrium back, but right now, not going to be available for them.
Yeah, the Lycan, however, is still getting fairly good last hits at the moment. Visage not the greatest hero to actually push him out of the lane, unlike a hero like Axe. So the Doom needs to get Orb of Venom go. He has Ice Armor now, not the best creep for the laning phase, but hopefully that he gets something more useful that he can actually use, like maybe the Satyr, so he can actually pressure the lane much better with that creep.
Yeah, as far as the other lanes go, it's going to be a Tidehunter versus Beastmaster at the bottom lane. Mid lane, the Medusa versus Lycan. Are these matchups which we can expect much to happen in? Are these pretty even matchups, do you feel?
Beastmaster versus Tide, I think is fairly alright for the Beastmaster to farm, but I think Tidehunter would certainly have the edge against a melee hero. But we saw yesterday from EG when they had a Juggernaut versus Tide, he started out with a Permanent Shield which actually blocks and negates some of the Anchor Smash damage, so that was from Fear. So I wonder if Universe will actually do the same thing here in this matchup.
Yep. Well, for now, just the boots and South Shield. Mid lane, the farm's pretty even. 11 CS to the 9 CS on the Storm Spirit, and not really a matchup you can expect one or the other to pull away from, unless there's kind of gangster rotations coming in. If EG are worried about the Storm Spirit, it's going to be before he hits level 6, and that's where Avenge could potentially look to rotate in. Bottom lane, RTK taking a lot of harassing. It does have 6 tangos as well as a salve, though. So as far as he's concerned, happy to kind of trade CS, well, trade some blows in the early game to get CS when he has all that HP regen.
Yeah, Beastmaster has a lot more armor than the Tidehunter. That's why he's actually getting a lot of good trade-offs. And Kraken Shell doesn't block the Wild Axe damage, so he's getting a better trade-off in the lane so far with just raw damage because he has more armor than the Tidehunter. But like you mentioned, Tide has a lot of regen, not something that he's too worried about at the moment. And looking at the other lanes, so Doom has already proceeded to get Orb of Venom. Devour still on cooldown, and just take a look at the camps here. Could he actually get any... Oh, there's a Satyr at the most far right camp, so that would be something that if he actually finds it, would be very useful in the lane. And if you look at the Visage last hits, not doing so well. 3 last hits to the 11 of the Lycan. So I don't think Lycan has suffered too much from this aggressive tri-lane from BG.
Yeah, it feels like so far, if anything, it's backfired for BG. Doing these 2 heroes in the top lane, I guess the alternative is you send Tide up there and just try to zone out the Beastmaster at bottom, but it doesn't feel like the 2 supports with the Doom have been able to accomplish too much. So EG going to be pretty content with the start here, considering how Lycan's not being pressured at all in his lane.
Yeah, this is not something we usually see from BG. The way they play, like a Chinese team, the way they play their Doom, they usually want to farm the Doom up. It's like you only see them doing this if they run a position for Doom on a support where they get Orb of Venom and they try to roam around.
Yeah.
But this game is very unusual. I would say the most important reason why they are doing this is because they do not want to give like a Lycan free farm. That's like the one thing in the game that you do not want to happen, where EG get a good start from the Lycan and they push very early on.
Yeah, I mean, so far they've been unsuccessful end of the day. So Lycan, while not getting complete and utter free farm, he is up there as one of the top farmers. So we'll see what the next move's going to be from Big God. The Medusa, not a hero you can expect to see rotate at all. ROTK, once he hits level 6, could look to maybe take a fight at top lane. But apart from that, it's going to have to come from Zhao Wei, who is going to scout out the Satyr, it looks like. We'll pick that one up with the Devour, so he's going to get himself a shockwave out of this, and also the very useful HP regen.
Yeah, the HP regen rune, I think sorry, not the rune, the aura is like the biggest thing for the supports as well.
Yeah.
They can trade both very effectively, but this Doom has to get something done. He's going to run in middle, starts off with a Scorch Earth and the Orb of Venom.
This is going to be potentially a close kill here. Burning behind, they're not going to dive this one.
It's very difficult though. Storm has very good base armor for intelligence hero.
Yeah. And that's all really they had. They just had the right clicks. They had no magic damage output apart from the Scorched Earth and the Mystic Snake, which had already been used on a creep wave and Miss Sumail. So
I actually think this, like you said, it's starting to feel like it's actually backfiring because they're not getting too much pressure on the Lycan. And if you look at bottom lane, it's more or less, I mean, RTK has a 5 CS lead, but it's very minor, I would say. And
yeah.
Beastmaster, with a lot of levels and farm, could actually potentially do a lot of damage in a fight against a Medusa when he gets Necrobook.
If they had safe lane, like the tri-lane, like done Doom, Venge, and Visage at bottom, maybe the Doom jungles, it just opens up the map for the Venge to go gank, because they need the Venge to be the one ganking mid lane, it seems.
I actually feel that way probably they would actually get more of it because you're actually farming a support hero like Visage, which is always a good thing to get a support like Visage farm, even though you have to jungle someone. But it more or less feels like they're actually doing the same thing right now with the aggressive tri-lane. The Doom is like, I don't know where you are gonna put this, like he's more like a roaming hero. And the thing is, Visage is not getting the... I don't think they actually expected the Visage to have such a hard time in the lane, getting last hits against the Lycan. But to be fair, Lycan has just way more base damage. Yeah. Compared to the Visage.
And we were kind of seeing that reflected in the CS here. Lycan, your top farmer. Mid lane's going fine with Storm and Medusa tied on 23 last hits apiece. And the Tide having a CS edge in the safe lane doesn't seem like the biggest issue. A bit of an issue here for Universe here. His hotkey's not saving for his Coolborough Salmon, which is
annoying.
Unusual. Annoying, yep. Absolutely. Not like the Dota 1 days back where you had to re-hotkey it every time you resummoned it, but hey, a nice little thing that actually exists within Dota 2. Maybe one of the recent... There was a patch this morning, who knows? Maybe something's messed with it.
It used to be, I think like a couple of days ago, like when we were playing pubs, it has the issue where it doesn't save in between games. Like if you start a new game, you have to reset it only once every game. Yeah. Because I was playing a lot of Morphing, I had to reset the replicate every game before the, like when you start a new game basically, where it actually should not be the case. but this is like he has to reset every resummon, which could be very annoying for a hero like Beastmaster. But like you said, that's how we play in Dota 1, boys.
Yeah, no, yeah, it makes your game a bit harder perhaps, but this will separate the boys from the men, maybe. That's what's going to come down to. If there's no fix, we play on, and Universe is going to have to suck it up.
Universe, the Disney boy.
Yep. Well, exactly. He's going to have to graduate from Disney movies to, I don't know, The Expendables or something. What's a good manly movie, WinteR?
Expendables is like too manly.
Too manly. He needs to take like baby steps.
The next step would probably be Twilight.
Twilight. Oh, that is. How is that an upgrade
okay,
from?
that was like a train wreck.
No, that was a train wreck, WinteR. You should not be touching that movie. Star Wars. I don't know.
How about Interstellar?
Okay, we can go with that, and then we go into the. I don't know. We can upgrade then to your action flicks, your Stallones, and your Rockies. Maybe that's what they need. Get some Rocky Balboa to motivate them to take down a team like Big God. And that's essentially Sumail. Look at him here in the camera shot. He's a youngin. He's not the. It's not just Universe who's the only the kid on this team. Sumail, just 15 years old, playing in almost $3 million event here, and pressure's on for him. He managed to get past Na'Vi, which was the first big test at the main event. So I feel like, as far as EG is concerned, nerves is not an issue. They beat Na'Vi even with a one-game deficit, so they've already proven that the crowd, the live event factor, is not going to get to them.
Well, the event is like very helpful for a player like Sumail because you are playing in a booth, and you started the group stages without a crowd. You are playing in the hotel room. So I would say if you're a new player, you're very lucky to be at your first second major LAN event after Red Bull with an atmosphere that doesn't really affect you too much because you're not looking like back in the old days when you're a new player, you're attending a huge LAN event. There's gonna be the nerves because no soundproof booths and everyone is like sitting next to each other yelling at you, and you could see the taunting as well, people taunting you. So if you're a new player, man, it's not very good for the new player. It's not a very pleasant experience.
Because the event is so well run and like they've all got their their TeamSpeak servers. They can emulate the experience to some extent from playing from home.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I know EG are very fussy, like they in a good way. That they want all their settings, their TeamSpeak to be set up just right. They use in-game voice. You compare that to go back to TI1, TI2, and what the Chinese teams did. They didn't use any team. Their team communication was yelling to one another, sitting next to each other.
Yes.
Which is the complete opposite of EG, who use their microphones, use the not the Dota 2 in-game communication, but use a TeamSpeak server. So it's a very different kind of, I guess, cultural thing between these teams.
Yeah, I mean, most of the Chinese teams think it's better to yell because, number one, it motivates you.
Yep.
When everyone's yelling, you feel the spirit, the team spirit. And
are they still doing that to this stage? They're not using any.
They use headsets, but they don't use any TeamSpeak.
Okay, so they don't use any voice communication software.
Not that I know of. Like most of the teams, maybe VG does it because they feel like a more Western type of Chinese team. So I'm not sure.
Yep. Well, we'll see what Big God are going to do here. They've now decided to leave the top lane. Supports are going to go back to the Radiant jungle here. So Visage and Venge going to start possibly stacking some camps, looking to pressure the Storm Spirit, but Storm's level 6 already.
I think this is the right move going back, even though they have to sacrifice the Doom at this stage because they're just not getting what they hope to achieve with the plans. That's why I did not expect them at all to go for, the Doom plus 2 supports aggressive. The Doom was even roaming. I'm not sure what was actually the biggest plan. They didn't slow down the Lycan, so they needed this rotation to get levels on the supports, both the supports, the Visage especially.
Alright, well, we'll see what the next plan is. ROTK going to be hitting level 6 fairly soon on his Tidehunter. There is a level 6 already on Beastmaster though, so RTK needs. Actually, he has level 6. He's going for this no Ravage build.
This is very good 1v1 skill. 1v1 skill build. Usually the offlane Tide, you would actually save a skill point at level 6 just in case because if you, for example, if you come into a situation where you could jungle do the Ancients early as a Tide on offlane, you will want to have 3 Kraken Shells and 3 Anchor Smash so that you actually can do it smoothly. But otherwise, just in case if you need to fight, you will have that skill point to change into a Gush or a Ravage.
It's
But
very, I mean, generally speaking with the Tide, you don't actually see Ravage get used until later on in the game.
It's a very difficult thing to say what would be more useful. So the best thing to do is to just keep onto the skill point.
Yeah.
Like you see ROTK, what he's doing right now, he's keeping one skill point as well. So
Yep.
he wants to make sure that if he needs to go Ancients right now, he can skill the Anchor Smash obviously. But if he needs to fight, he can go for a Gush or a Ravage.
Reminds me a lot of like a Terrorblade, where you wouldn't skill your reflection necessarily.
Oh
You-
yeah, I think I only see like probably one player that does that consistently. I can't remember who. Yeah.
Black? I think I was watching Black, and he was saving on the skill points in case he could get a kill with reflection.
I remember. Like,
But a lot of players just completely skip it. Sunder's another, and also applies to Sunder. Generally, Terrorblades do not level Sunder because they don't have the mana for it at level
just
6.
Look at Medusa, not skilling ultimate as well. Does he
Yeah.
have extra skill points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 stats. No
Okay.
extra skill points.
So we'll have to wait till a bit later on. I guess he's not too worried about getting ganked, but he only has 1 point in mana shield. What do you make of this Medusa skill build? This is not really the traditional Medusa
This is a
skill
more
build.
farming orientated skill build, and I think he feels that he's actually quite safe in the lane, doesn't need more points in the mana shield, so he's going for the more, I
Yeah.
would say, greedy build, so you go a few more points in speed shop, so you can actually farm a lot better in the early phase. So I'm not sure about this decision, but I guess we just have to wait and see how it actually plays out, whether it actually enables him to get an item faster, or is he going to get punished.
It's also mind games, because EG, they see the mana shield, they don't know what level it is. They may just look at Medusa, see mana shield, and be like, oh, we can't gank Medusa. She's got level 8 max mana shield, but no, that's not the case.
That's Sumail.
EG don't actually know.
Damn, Sumail DD. Double damage and a regen rune. This is like the dream.
Well,
Double damage and regen on Storm.
what is the dream exactly here? What does he want to be killing off here? He's looking around for supports in the Radiant jungle, but they're nowhere near. They scouted this out with the Radiant Observer Ward as far as what rune spawned in.
They saw him.
Yep, they saw him walk past, so they are not going to get caught out by this one. Sumail Storm, very potent at this stage of the game. He's going to run into a nice little neutral stack, though, and he may just look to try and stake
Wow. That is the split shot from Burning. Oh my god.
this. Burning gets one of those. He gets the big one at the end, the A tier, but the rest of it going Sumail's way.
Oh my god. That is just... He was not going to get anything and somehow he found something. And
It's a
he's
bit
going to
bad.
go bot.
Whoa, that is a long ball lightning he catches out here.
He
And
still has the regen. Oh my god.
what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the storm comes for you? Sumail picks up the first blood 9 minutes in. Nothing Venge can do. You can't stun. Endless mana for the storm, who just ball lightnings around and plays the Venge like a fiddle there.
It was like the Venge was the kid, not Sumail, the kid there. Oh my god, that was such a good play from the Storm. Again, I think this was the second time he
Yeah.
actually used a regen rune to such great effectiveness.
And having the vision down there as well. The EG Observer Ward down in that area, scouting out the Venge in those trees was the other crucial piece of that puzzle.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, true. That is actually, in fact, the most important point actually about
Yeah,
that kill.
he could ball lightning from so far into fog. Now Big God do know there's a ward there. At the end of the day, the damage has been done. First blood for a Storm Spirit puts him on top of the net worth chart right now and gets him up to 1,700 gold. Generally, you see the Storm Orchid. Is this just feeling like every other Storm game where you're just going to go for the traditional build?
Yeah, I think at most you stop for a soaring during the build up to the Orchid, but yeah, that's, I guess, the most lethal snowballing item that you could get on a Storm this early, the Orchid. It enables him to kill almost everyone except the Tide and the Medusa.
I mean, that's
Top lane.
that's 2 out of the 3 cores here. There is a shapeshift that's been used in Like and Fear. Comes in from the side, going to leave the Wolf to try and finish off Lamb here, but Lamb not going to go down. And Fear did not commit. The Arcane Bolt gets the kill. Sumail zips in, he's got no mana. Uh-oh, Tide has a Ravage available. Sumail cannot TP out, he's got no mana, and that's a big mistake from EG. Sumail is done for here. The stun comes in, ROTK, who don't even need to use a Ravage.
Yeah, that was like no way out for him after, like, they actually probably miscommunicated and they thought he was gonna die, and in the end Skyrath, I mean, I don't really blame him for doing that because like no one was going to do the finishing move there. Like Skyrath was backing off and like Sumail was like, oh guys, I don't really want to go in, but we are not getting the kill, so alright, I'm just going in and see.
It almost felt like it was on Fear to get the kill, but I guess he didn't want to get blocked into the trees because that's, if Tide TP's in and body blocks him in that tree spot, suddenly he's trapped as well.
I have to say that it's really hard to just judge who was actually at fault because there were just so many things that could have happened. Maybe the Skyrath said, I got him, and he threw the last arcane ball, he didn't die, and realized he needed another one, and everyone was like, oh damn, we need to go in for that, and Storm just made the decision, a snap decision, I'm going in, I'm going to finish the kill, and it turned out to be the wrong decision.
Well, this game, so far, pretty slow pace. No towers being pushed. Roshan being, well, attempted now by EG. Fear in the pit with a Vlad smoked in here as well. Will be just doing this by himself, but with the max wolves, with 3 points in the passive, should be pretty straightforward for him.
Yeah, Tide and Medusa is gonna be clearing out the ancient stacks meanwhile, so they do at least use the time that Lycan is doing the rush to actually get some of their economical advantage back, which is to be able to do the ancients where EG doesn't really have an offlaner that can. I mean, Beastmaster can do the ancients, but not as easy as a Tide and Medusa would be able to. Mech will be completed on Tide already. We've seen this a lot from the Chinese teams majorly because they prefer to use, like I talked about this before, they want to use the Ravage to get a objective. So every time they use a Ravage, they are actually grouping up. And they do not want a blink on the Tide that early because you don't want to blink in and initiate to do something. You want to use the Tide Ravage as a potential threat so that the enemy doesn't fight into you. So having the mech is much better if you're actually looking to play in that direction.
Alright. Now, I mean, this somewhat reminiscent of the Cloud9 draft against the Big God, where there was the Medusa against the Lycan Shadow Shaman push strat. Is EG's lineup on like a timeline like Cloud9 was? How do they go to the late game?
I don't think it's exactly the same because they have sort of a hybrid draft. They have the Storm, which is very powerful late game, I would say, if he gets a very good start. Like, you could argue that's Doom, but at the same time, I think it's really up to... Okay, that was a nice ancient block by Universe. They're using the Hawk to actually block the ancient camp there when the supports were actually trying to stack it up. But the Storm in the late game, obviously, you are worried about the Doom, but at the same time, if he gets a very good start rolling over, he's a hero that can actually destroy everyone. In a late game situation, you can have Bloodstone, Lincoln Sphere. It's still going to be difficult for the Doom to actually initiate on you, and Bloodstone charges means even if you get Doom, you respawn faster, and he's like one of the few better heroes to actually build into items that can actually do well against the Doom in a late game situation. So I think that late game, you look at late game, yes, Big God have very good late game with Medusa and Doom, but I wouldn't count out the Storm.
And Storm, first item Bloodstone here, deciding the Orchid is not going to... I mean, you mentioned it can't kill the Tide or Medusa. While it can get the other three heroes, end of the day, the Medusa the main carry, the Tide the main kind of team fighter.
It shows you the direction of EG that...
They want to go late game?
Yeah,
or?
They are just getting ready to go into a very late game scenario Storm. And top lane, are we going to get pursued down? A swap onto him. He's going to try and silence Ice, but to no avail. He's going to die. He's going to go down anyways. Medusa going to try to pick up a 40-minute rune. Unfortunately, I think Lycan actually... Yeah, Lycan took the haste rune, so Burning is just going to join his team at top. Use the Ravage and the mech.
The first pressure of the game actually coming from the Big God team. They're the ones who want to pressure towers. EG will look for some trades with Beastmaster pressuring the bottom lane.
They have the better 5-men. So
yeah, absolutely.
I guess that's the main reason. Even though they have the Dusa, the stronger late game hero, but 5-man wise, Big God just has the better 5-man right now.
It feels like a bit of a misconception currently that Medusa is just a late gamer. It feels like the hero in around the 20-minute mark is great for grouping up and pushing towers.
He didn't even max his Mystic Snake. He just went for the split shot max to actually push towers and farm faster.
Well, I think both teams recognizing this game is going late game.
You know, you notice both the teams, how they scale their carry is just very reminiscent of how they actually... It's very similar. They are gearing into late game with the Bloodstone Rush on the Storm and Medusa actually maxing split shot. Like, both teams are just like, this game is not going to end fast. It's going to go into a late game situation.
It feels like we're going 45 minutes plus, for sure, at this point. I mean, it's probably too early to tell. Something crazy. A team could lose a big team fight and just take racks here, especially EG with the pushing power of Lycan and Beastmaster, but Big God have been so well polished for the most part. Obviously, they had that bad game too against Cloud9 with all the missed Ravages, but they're one of the best high ground defending teams, I feel, in this tournament, and they've got the perfect lamp to do it with.
It's either them or LGD, I would say, at high ground defense. These two teams are really good. And BG, right now, their lineup, they need to be very careful of the Storm. The Doom, I just feel that the Doom has to be casted on the Storm every time. He can't afford to cast it on... Maybe you could argue if you could cast it on Universe before he roars, then it's still fine, but I think the Storm is going to be... like, the way he itemized into the game, having the first item Bloodstone, will mean that he's going to snowball into a very scary hero. So with that alone, I think the Doom has to be on Sumer every time.
Yeah. Hey, you just get 2 Dooms. I feel like that's where this game is going, that there's probably going to be an Ag Scepter on Jiawei by the time this game is over. One way or another, whether it's EG or Big God coming out on top.
Ag Scepter Refresher, that's like the most common thing you would see after the BKB or the Blink on the Doom. And here comes Sumail, has the Aegis up. It's going to expire fairly soon, so he needs to do something with this.
Well, he just walks into the
Wow.
support, dodges the magic missile, perfectly timed. The Raw and RTK are going to delay the Ravage. They kill off the Storm with the Aegis here. He's going to look for a second kill. Great silence on RTK. He cannot Ravage. Sumail will get out of there, but no kills go his way. Good defensive play from Big God.
Wow.
But also, I feel like that was pretty well played by EG. Just
Curtis Ling actually saved their Wonder Kid big time there with the silence.
if there was a Ravage, you can use that before the ball lightning. You can time the Ravage on the Aegis respawn, and there's no way to dodge it.
You definitely can. He's gonna die for sure if they got the Ravage on him. Top lane, Fear dealing a lot of damage on the tier glyph, and he pops his ultimate just to make sure that he doesn't get caught out. Gets out of the side of the map of Big God, making sure that he doesn't get caught out by anything.
I mean, the Aegis did force Big God to overcommit, or not even overcommit. They had to rotate a lot of heroes to the safe lane to basically not give Storm any kills, so it did open up the top lane a bit. EG getting a bit more farm out of the map, are winning the economy battle to a small extent, but that's kind of the nature of their draft, having the map vision with the Hawk, also just having an Aegis on your Storm Spirit.
By the way, PPD just made a solo smoke. Oh, he's gonna try and kill the career with the enchant. Oh, one more right click.
Oh, doesn't get it!
So
very, very close. He knew it was coming.
And he plays like wards as well, like he smoked, he knew that they were actually constantly doing ancients with the heroes they have. This is something that I don't see enough, like teams, when they go up against a lineup like what Big God have, Medusa plus Tide, they are not consistently actually stopping the ancients.
Yeah, either blocking it with a Quillbore or a Hawk. The Lycan summon Wolves can also block it. They don't have to ward it, but
EG are just like very attentive to what is going on the map of Big God. They did it with a Hawk like a few moments ago, and now PPD solo smokes just to make sure that he gets the ward off on the ancients.
Yeah. Well, the Sentry Ward also not working on the D Ward, so this is going to be some economy lost for Big God at the Ancients here.
Yeah, this is a difficult... I mean, you have to place a Sentry on the other side.
They'll take two.
Yeah.
They'll realize at the 19-minute mark, but by that point, it blocked the stack and it's going to block the 90-minute spawn. So it's going to block two Ancient spawns, which is quite a bit of money.
I think it already did its job by that time.
Yeah.
Even if they got the Sentry and found the Observer, but it was already like two spawns already blocked. So I think the ward basically justifies itself, even if he gets the ward from this point.
Could maybe use a Sentry Ward, I guess, which is less of a big deal to get the ward.
Sumail going in.
Oh, they want Xiao Wei. He's tanky here with the point boost and Overclub. Is he tanky enough? He's not going to get mech, but he's going to survive it. Sumail now low on mana, but...
He actually missed the mech? Oh dear. That was so close to being costly. He didn't get the mech on Doom. He missed it.
Doom does pick up the Acceptor now, but very close to going down there in the bottom lane.
Yeah, his item build gave him enough HP to actually survive that. That was very, very close. And probably at that point you would argue that was one of the moments that you felt, okay, he didn't have the Orchid, he didn't get the kill.
Yeah, if that's an Orchid, that's an easy kill. At the same time, I think even if EG get that kill, he'd already bought the Acceptor, or even if he hadn't bought the Acceptor, it's the way this game is going, one kill on the Doom isn't going to change the pace of the game. They're not going to get a tower off of it. They're not going to really slow him down that much. It seems like EG want to just make sure they itemize for the late game rather than take a small little advantage.
I don't even think that I would be surprised if Sumail actually goes for Lincoln Sphere next item, because you're going for late game, you want to make sure you don't die. That's about it.
Yep.
But it's just way too defensive. I'm not sure if it's actually going to be too detrimental to his team that the Storm builds into a too defensive type of play.
Smoke from Big God here. They're looking to wrap around towards PPD on the tree. They see Sumail as well. Ravage going to catch both, but they're going to go on PPD first. The 4-star from Aoi. He may get off another save here, but PPD swap forward. Ice swaps RTK back. That cancels the gush, and PPD, he's going to live.
He didn't get the gush.
Oh, if he got the gush, PPD was dead. Now go back towards the Storm Spirit, who's got enough mana to ball lightning out of there, but...
I think even if they got PPD, it
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He was like the...
It's an Earthshaker.
The least wanted hero that BG wanted to kill. It's just like, if they couldn't get the Storm kill, they just needed to kill the Storm. I mean, if you blow a Ravage, you want to kill either someone important or you get an objective. In this scenario, they couldn't get objective, so obviously you want to get the key hero kill, which is the Storm.
It's still, what, the first Ravage of the game?
I think
so.
That was
if you look at it from that perspective, even a support for a Ravage is okay because he's not using Ravage. The way this game is going, slow-paced, farm battle, both teams gearing up for the late game. A Ravage, okay, for a support, sounds like a bad trade. it does open up the map for EG to be a bit more aggressive, especially with Sumail when he doesn't have to worry about a Ravage, but there's still a Doom. There's still other ways of catching him out.
Basically, we talked about this like a few times already. Like, if you're not fighting, you just want to use your big cooldown spells, even a solo kill, it's fine.
A Black Hole, a Ravage, you solo kill. Generally, we want to get a core hero, but even a farm support is pretty good.
Yeah, the thing is, like, in a game like this, your priorities change. Like, you just want to put the big spell on cooldown and get something done with it.
Sumail is going back for the Orchid. This is unexpected to some extent.
I can see why he's actually doing that, because, like, if you look at Big God's lineup, if Sumail jumps in, tries to kill a Medusa with a Skywrath or with, let's say, the Lycan, Venge is behind, wants to swap, Sumail rolls in, pulls the guy in front, silences the Venge. So, I mean, that alone could be a key reason why he's actually doing this.
I imagine Doom will see this and immediately say, okay, I gotta go BKB right now. This is... The refresher can come later. That's like your late game Doom item, but...
He already has, like, the Acceptor anyway, so building a BKB right now is fine for him, I think.
Alright. Well...
You know, it could also be another reason because of the last attempt at killing the Doom at bottom. It's like, oh dear, I didn't have enough damage.
He's got to imagine that the Doom is going to build a BKB when he sees the Orchid in. Maybe it gets you one kill, but Orchid's still not a bad item for Storm. It gives him damage, it gives him attack speed. As far as...
He got the deny!
Sumail!
The kid.
And a blink out from Universe. EG are just kind of toying with Big God in some ways. Denying towers, blinking out, wasting Ravages.
The kid is actually toying around Big God.
Yeah. He better be careful. If he puts his hand in the cookie jar one too many times, he's going to get caught eventually. So
and here we go. Aoi's going to get caught out. He's going to get caught out.
TP.
Do they have Ravage to catch it cancelled? Okay.
So this is one of those Ravage for support. Looks bad on paper, but I feel like it's okay.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
You just take what you get right now.
It's better than half of RTK's Ravages yesterday, you know? It's an upgrade.
I can only give you a huge smile after you said that.
Look, he's just gonna. It's baby steps. We talk about, you know, your movie transitions from Disney to wherever next. Your Ravages, you go from yesterday to one hero Ravages today, and then maybe. Oh, Storm gets almost.
I actually thought they were actually giving it. That was like scary a bit. Okay.
So this is day 2. He's hitting a 1-hero Ravage. Tomorrow he's going to hit 2-hero Ravages. Then by the time you get to the finals, he's hitting 4 or 5-hero Ravages, you know? It's baby steps. He'll make it there in the end.
Hopefully so.
If Big God can get that far. If they're going to get that far, they're going to need some big plays out of ROTK. Right now, it's Burning doing what Burning does best. 0-0-0 Medusa. He's top of the net worth chart, 203 last hits to his name.
You know, usually you see him doing that on the other hero. Anti-mage.
Burning, yeah.
0-0-0.
It's the Medusa today.
He didn't even max his Mystic Snake because like, who needs that? I just need stats and speed shot.
I mean, it doesn't help his late game. It's good in the laning stage, but this laning stage, well, it seems to keep going and going, WinteR.
Yeah, it definitely does seem so. So at this point of the game, let's look at the item progression on everyone. On EG's side first. Earthshaker still working towards the blink. 900 gold shot, Storm, like you mentioned, going back for the Orchid. Not sure how this is going to work out, but it's still not a bad choice. And Beastmaster almost there with his level 3 Necrobook plus the blink on him.
Storm just got his Orchid, I believe, coming out of the courier.
Yeah, Skywrath is going to have his Atos fairly soon. Necrobook 3 on Lycan, Assault Cuirass halfway there, that's done. And on the Big God side, RTK gonna build, I imagine gonna build the Refresher after this, but I don't think Shivas is a bad choice here for the Tide Hunter. I think it's gonna negate a lot of physical damage from Beastmaster, Storm, and the Lycan as well. So it could be an option that he would consider top lane.
Burning gonna say easy Necrobook farm. Actually, Ice gets the last hit on the Venge Wave of Terror, but it's the Sumail Storm catching out Xiao Wei. Orchid is there, the Roar to follow. Xiao Wei tanking up pretty decently. Can look for a Doom. Nope, he won't get it off. Nice ball lightning use there, preventing the cast animation as Lamb now on the run as well. The Quill Borer in hot pursuit. No mana for your Storm Spirit though, and Lamb would actually look to turn and fight. He kills off the tries to kill off the Quill Borer. Sumail says, I'll take some familiars. At this point, Sumail with an Aegis can be very liberal with his initiations.
Yeah, he can like we talked about before, he can basically kill everyone apart from the Tide and the Medusa, I would say.
Yeah. The one thing is, be careful, this is what happened at the bottom tier 2 tower. They just where if he dies and there's a Ravage waiting for him, he will die a second time. That's the only way he dies.
That's the point where we come back that he has the Aegis now. Aegis now that he can actually be very liberal of how he initiates and doesn't need to worry about dying. At this point, he can play super aggressive and try to rack up the Bloodstone charges.
Alright, well, PPD also in that 000 club. All the cool kids are 000.
Fear, 001.
Yeah, no, dude, it's PPD and Burning. These two know... They're the ones who are the cool kids at school right now. No kills, no assists, easy farm, but ironically, the most farmed here in the game, and well, one of the least farmed. PPD not doing too bad, actually has a Blink Dagger up, out-farming the Radiant supports.
I think this is the result of how Big God actually... This is the consequence they have to live after doing what they did in the early laning phase to the Visage. So you have a Visage that has less net worth than the enemy Earthshaker.
Yeah.
You just have, like, some decisions you make in the game, you just have to live with it for the rest of the game. You can't really change what happened.
It does feel like EG's lineup has come online faster, and partly because of the way Big God laned it, also partly because of the Big God picks. They picked very heavy late game Doom and Medusa. I feel like every Doom game I see, either the Doom team loses, or if they're winning, it goes 40+ minutes. Doom is not known for ending games early.
Yeah, top lane, the Storm, I mean, he doesn't have to be worried about anything. And bottom lane, they get the Raw on Burning. Oh, Big God gonna get caught out here.
Oh, RTK cancelled his TP. He's got a Ravage available. He's going to throw it up. Now Sumail actually goes into this one. He's going to... Oh, he gets the ball lightning off. Does go down here. They've still got a Doom. They're going to look for Sumail with this one. Double Necrobook. Chasing Burning. Nice hoof stomp is there. The ball lightning past Sumail. Gets the kill on Medusa. The Doom goes out onto Fear. They've got nothing for Sumail. Echo Slam from PPD. 3. Big God here is dead. It's about to be a 4th. ROTK's trying to catch up to Fear. But 4-0. EG. When a big team fight here, the Doom still ticking away will not be enough to kill off Fear. And that was, well, that's what we waited 28 minutes for. A big team fight victory for EG. And we'll see them probably take some T2 towers and objectives off of this.
Too bad they actually didn't have the venture to actually bail the boss out. He already made his teleportation towards top to try and defend. It was just very good movement from Sumail. He realized that without the Doom anywhere on the map, there was no way they could have killed him. He was pressuring the tier 3, forced Big God to actually, oh dear guys, we are not going to get this tier 3 without giving up a lot of damage on our base, so they had to get back. And immediately, the moment he actually saw that happen, he TP'd bottom. Venge already made his way down towards top to defend, so they were outnumbered with the Aegis on him. So it was just a fight that EG took.
Very clever.
There was no way BG was gonna be able to win that because it's just a matter of numbers game. They had Aegis and 5 heroes there.
Just perfect execution. Even the Venge TP top, RTK was like, okay, I need a TP top as well. Let's try and catch him out or stop the push. But he's suddenly like, oh wait.
You know, that was one of the moments like we saw. Oh no. Doom.
Sumail is just dominating. Double kill. Mega kill now. He's looking for a 3rd even. He's got no Aegis here. He's going to be a bit careful. Does not get the dodge on the magic missile. Burning going to go for a stone gaze. Sumail Adamata does not get the ball like to the high ground. Insta-suicide. Will respawn very quickly.
That was close. He was going to give away a lot of gold if he died.
Yeah. So, not exactly a big loss for EG. The fact he uses the Bloodstone Suicide opens up bottom lane. There's no ultimate available for Medusa. Glyph comes out and EG, Fear going to decide this is maybe not the push to go for here. They've got double Necrobook 3s with both Beastmaster and Lycan having this, which makes it a bit more difficult for Medusa to fight, not to mention just the siege from EG.
Oh, EG is just playing this game so well. Like, they had a very good game plan and exploiting the fact that BG, they have no reliable way of actually catching the Storm apart from the Doom. The Doom doesn't have... Like, he doesn't really have a good time in catching the Storm at this point of the game because, like, the map control of... Just EG has so much map control and the Hawk, like we were talking about. The other day, they did the same thing with Sumail Storm that had Treant Protector and Beastmaster, which even has more map control. But this game, they have the Lycan Wolves and they have the Hawk once more. So it's just like... The synergy between the heroes of EG is just everyone works well with each other. They complement each other in a certain way other than just looking on the lineup on paper. It's just a very well thought of draft by Mr. Peter Pandem here.
They're using the map control so well, and like the draft aside, I feel like the drafts were somewhat even, at least as far as the teams picking to their strengths, but the in-game like shot calling from PPD to take that fight at bottom lane and the way they're using the Hawk, the Wolves, just knowing that was such a good fight for them at bottom
Yeah.
lane, they baited Big God into that.
I
That
know-
was just perfect.
I noticed they are one of the few teams that actually prioritizes a lot on picking heroes that give you a certain amount of map control
Yeah.
in the game. Like they are prioritizing a lot of Beastmaster, for example, and they're using Trend Protector for the same reason as well. So it's actually very impressive every time I see EG play. I will be able to notice a certain pattern of how he actually picks. Like on the Raiden side, I talked about before in the old patch, he would actually prioritize on getting a push lineup, and on the Dire side, a farming orientated lineup.
Well, we'll see what the next move's going to be. EG looking really nice now. Probably going to wait for the next Roshan, I
Refresher
imagine.
coming out on Universe. This is going to be a huge item.
Double Raw and double Necrobooks. You can't summon them at the same time, but as soon as that one expires, you've reset the cooldown.
It's still really, like, even if you can't do it at the same time, but
Yeah.
if you think about what he can accomplish with, like, you kill one book as a Medusa, as long as he gets the mana burn off, like, and then you have another one, and you need to go back to the base to regen. You don't have a choice.
Yep.
Unless you, I would say you need to build a BKB on the Dusa this game at some point. You want to have a BKB.
Right.
Maybe, I'm not sure whether you get it as your next item or the item after, but it just feels like he needs to get a BKB.
Yeah, normally goes for that butterfly, and right now Burning not looking as scary as he did yesterday against Cloud9.
Definitely not scary at all. And if you look at over the net worth of EG side, like their map dominance is clearly showing everyone has more farm. Like
Yep.
even PPD, usually you see like everyone looks like EG PPD is going to be like the 6-7 position support. But this game he actually has a very good amount of net worth if you compare it to the BG supports.
Well, the price of salt is rising apparently because PPD has got up to 7k net worth here. AUI's got his signature Rod of AUI with the Skywrath Mage.
It's not an AoE game if you don't see that item.
He's even building towards what, a Scythe of Vice or possibly a Yule Scepter with a Voidstone pickup. He is just filthy rich.
I think definitely the Yule Scepter. As a support in this position, this is the best few items on the Skywrath. 4-star Atos and the Yule Scepter. The other item I would see maybe he would want to get later on is probably a Bloodstone, which would transition. Like, it's just the way he likes to play. He likes to transition his core supports into a carry. And here we go again. The vision from the Beastmaster.
Sets up another kill. Sumail up to 10 Bloodstone charges. Did lose a lot with that suicide, but end of the day, he wants all these Bloodstone charges so that he can use a suicide and have a very fast respawn.
This is just like a very well executed draft by EG. It's not even like Big God got outdrafted. Their draft couldn't go up against EG. It's just like EG are executing their game plan very well, and Big God's primary weakness in the draft is showing because EG know it, exploiting it well, having the map control, having the vision every time they know where is the supports of Big God moving, they know where is the Doom, so the Storm, when you know where's the Doom, you are just like, you know where you can fight, where you can gank. You don't have to worry about giving up a big kill if you are trying to overextend. So basically, with knowledge, it comes with power.
It's gotten them a 20k net worth lead. Not just power, but they've got all the money.
Power and money.
They're rich right now.
There's still,
EG are living the true American dream here.
There's still a lack of a gem, but I feel maybe with the Necrobook tree, you just don't feel the need of it. But I still the gem could actually just make sure that BGA do not have all this. Like you could see in the map right now, they have two vision up, basically protecting the mid lane so that anyone who farms there feels safe. But yeah, I mean, it's not a huge deal not having the gem right now for EG, but it's something that could maybe look to get in the future, or they would actually totally ignore it because they have the Necrobook tree from the Beastmaster.
Well, they're going to keep the pressure up to some extent here as Sumail has the Aegis once more. They've got the cheese, and I think, is this like the time where they want to try to take high ground?
Look
or
at his items at this stage. He has Aegis, Orchid, Bloodstone, and Linken's. Like I knew he was going to go for Linken's at this stage. Some stage of the game against this sort of lineup just makes him so powerful. But how is Big God gonna kill him? Like they can just probably try and make space with the Storm, and he's gonna jump in with the Doom here onto Aoi, a support.
It's gonna get the kill here.
Look at bottom lane, EG.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna look to try to take high ground here.
PPD, cancel some TPs.
Oh, not gonna happen right off the bat. Burning actually not able to TP himself here. Universe is just creating space as Stonegaze comes up, and meanwhile bottom lane the Storm gets a kill, and now the tier 3 tower. Glyph is gonna delay it going down, but they've got nothing to defend it. In goes ROTK, holding on to the Ravage for now. He needs to use it soon. The BKB from Fiercebeat deploy. He'll bring down your Tide. Tide with a buyback, and I think he's going to have to use it. The melee Rax has been claimed as EG continue to just set up camp in the Big God base here as they take both lanes, well, both bottom racks, and,
This is-
well, they're looking to work on top lane as well.
This is a huge. I mean, this is more or less over already for Big God. They're gonna
No
lose.
Doom, no Stone Gaze.
That's Ravage.
But where do you ravage? There's push mid, there's push top. You've already lost bottom
Look
lane.
at
Storm
Sumail.
gets another
Look
kill.
at
Sumail
Sumail.
sells an Aegis. He gets 2 more. Both supports are dead, and this is looking like Big God just being torn apart, manhandled by the EG polished killing machine.
I would like to say kid handled Sumail. Just
Perfect play.
Destroying them.
Absolutely perfect play. This has got to be the most well-executed strategy of the tournament in some ways, I feel. This is just polished Dota from EG.
Oh my god, this is just... This is as good as the other day I clapped during one of the games where I can't remember which game, like somebody actually executed the game so well. I mean, this is another game where it's just perfect from EG. They did everything, like everything in the books was right. I could hardly feel there was anything that I could say that they could have done better. Maybe they could have gotten the Orchid instead of the Bloodstone on the Storm, but at the same time I could understand why he was actually prioritizing getting the Bloodstone, because they knew they couldn't end the game quick and they wanted to get into the tempo where they are trying to snowball the Storm out of control. Plus they also wanted to make sure that the Storm gets really huge into the game, and going back to the Orchid, it was in the end a good choice.
Yeah, going back for the Orchid worked out perfectly. I feel Big God, as far as things they could do, the supports in the offlane, the way they set up the lanes, definitely didn't help them, but they managed to turn things around pretty nicely regardless.
Yeah, but at some point you just got overwhelmed by the map control, and I think the biggest mistake for Big God is the lanes they went aggressive tri-lane with the Visage and Doom. That's just about, they had to live with the decision they make the whole game. The Visage was just like a support, like a position 5 support, because of how they started the game, and there was no choice. They needed to give the rest of the space to the Doom, and you know, those are the small little things that just limited a lot of what they could do with their supports. And you know, as much as I want to say the kid did so much this game, it was just a brilliant display of how the draft works well with each other. Like the Peter Pandem draft, it was just...
It was the draft, the strategy, like, in some ways, you give an MVP to this game, it's maybe PPD, just for
I don't
leading
think you can just say, okay, the PPD, the Storm by Sumail is just the clear MVP. It was just, he got such an easy game because of how the draft was just basically, to me, the biggest thing, instead of just Sumail at one as the Storm this game.
Alright, well, EG take game 1. We're going to go back to the analysts at the desk here and see what they have to say about game 1.
Somewhere Eternal Envy is looking at this game and saying, man, we should have done that yesterday.
Come on in, Cinderin.
Well,
Hey, Syndren. It's okay to be late. No shame on that.
the big difference is
Yes.
they didn't have 2 Necro books
Mm-hmm.
and a Storm that was complete out of control.
He really was out of control. There was a point where he was at the beginning that he jumped into nothingness.
Yeah, that wasn't even a flawless Storm game because he died once jumping to the trees, like you said, and then he died another time, had to suicide because he overcommitted for a kill and didn't have mana.
I feel like for the first 20 so minutes, other than that, it was more of a farming Storm Spirit. He got his core items. We talked about this, the Bloodstone into Orchid, and once he got Orchid, that's when he started taking off. And I won my bet, Bruno.
You won your bet indeed. It was Sumail, the one, but by far the one with the most kills.
The guy I called would get most kills went 0-1-0.
Well, I just
So I want some sort of prize for being as wrong as possible. That could not have gone any worse.
That
for
is
my
actually
prediction.
the weirdest score ever.
0-1-0.
Yeah.
I am not involved at all in any kill. To be fair, Big God didn't have many kills to their name at all to begin with. You just joined the lobby, I think. But most importantly, apparently it's been discovered that Evil Geniuses has 2 secret agents. This is no pun on Team Secret. It's just the fact that Universe and Fear finished 005 and 007 in the scores. In fact, it actually kind of surprises me that Fears had Necrobook, BKB, Vlad's, Threads, and one more item, AC. And he couldn't find the kill.
Well, it just, when he gets them low, Storm,
What a
takes the kill.
KSer, man.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Sumail.
I'm pretty surprised going into this game that we didn't see Big God banning out the Storm. I think that's what Na'Vi did against EG yesterday.
It was a first phase pick Storm.
Yes, they first phase banned it as well. Na'Vi yesterday going in. I think in at least 2 of the games, if not all 3, as it seems to be. It's not that the hero as such is a first phase pick in general. It's just that it's EG's seemingly favorite strategy to run to get that Storm early on for Sumail is he does really well in lane, and then he starts either finding pickoffs or setting up key fights, and the moment he gets a pickoff, that's a Roche, right? Very easy to find the pickoffs with the Beastmaster Hawk, and it's a very solid strategy, and I think Big God didn't counterpick it at all.
Well,
so
going into pick 5, we're saying they didn't have an answer for Storm. They had Avenge and a Tide. And when you second pick a Storm, and you don't have a counter till pick 5, then I think the draft is where it went wrong. WinteR was saying that the draft was okay for Big God, but I think in order for them to counter the Storm, they had to play so much better. So I felt like if they didn't pick the Visage, like if they had a Lion, for example, Lion was banned in that case, but if they have some support, Skyroth Mage maybe, to give a silence, give an instant disable, maybe the game would have been a little bit easier for them.
Truth is, Big God played very conservatively, trying to bank on that late game power that they had. It was not enough. Once the 3-3 score was broken, that was somewhere between like almost 30 minutes into the game. It just everything unraveled for EG. And after that, things were over. But the series is not over. It's only game 1 of a best of 3. We're going to go into a short break. When we come back, we will have game 2 of Big God versus EG. See you in a while.